Hey everybody, hope the step one studying is going awesome. Okay, so here's a question in respiratory. So a group of researchers is investigating various lung diseases and gas exchange, and alveolar walls are going to be thickening and ventilation perfusion is left unchanged. And we get all of these measurements here. So basically got some 150 for PO2, that's the breathed in air. Alveolar is 104, pulmonary fibrosis, pulmonary venous is for O2 is 70, that's a little bit low. And then pulmonary venous for CO2 is 40, that's about normal. So which explains these gas findings. So why is this O2 low? And it's going to be because of this thickening of the alveolar walls, which changes the diffusion constant, which is like this. The diffusion rate is dependent on the alveolar surface area. So big surface area, big diffusion constants, big pressure gradient equals big diffusion, but big thickness equals low diffusion. So that's the formula for Fick's law. So if we got like pulmonary fibrosis or where we have emphysema, then the alveolar walls, or the alveolar walls are going to be thickened and the diffusion rate goes down. So that is the reason why we have these diffuse limitation, because there's low diffusion leading to low pulmonary venous, so 70 instead of 100, while the CO2 is normal. Why? Because CO2 can just diffuse all nice and easily. So a low CO2, so that would be like hyperventilation, you're just not getting enough, and it's like maybe high altitude, so you go, and then high PCO2, that would be hypoventilation, COPD, respiratory failure, drug overdose. Okay, so normal lung, you'd see it around 40. It is pretty normal here. So yeah, this is going to be a problem with diffusion. This is diffusion limitations. And so let's look at the answers. A, increased pulmonary shunting. So yeah, circulation does contribute to this, but it's only a small drop of 4 in the PO2. Not a huge drop. So yeah, a little bit, but not tons. Normal equilibration between the alveolar and capillary oxygen levels. So normally, we should see alveolar PO2 like 104, and we see 70, and that means there's incomplete equilibration, and so that's not going to be C. D, complete intrapulmonary shunting due to an alveolar collapse. If it were completely collapsed or filled with fluid, then, like if it were completely the same, then PO2 would equilibrate with the venous blood. If there's like no diffusion, then it would be identical. It would just match that exact rate. So yeah, if atelectasis occurs, then PO2 would drop and match the systemic venous. And the reason why is because alveolar is number 104, and the pulmonary venous should be like 100 because blood equilibrates with the alveolar air. But in atelectasis, the affected alveoli are no longer ventilated because they've collapsed. So no fresh air enters the alveolus. There's no oxygen replenishment. And so the pulmonary capillary blood continues to flow past all those collapsed alveoli, and no new oxygen is even entering at all. And so the PO2 equilibrates with the venous blood, so it's going to be 40. So at the same time, the PCO2 rises to 45, matching the venous blood level, so the CO2 cannot be exhaled. And that's the right to left shunting. When you have the deoxygenated blood from the right heart, bypasses the normal gas exchange and returns to the left heart without even picking up any oxygen. So that's if it's collapsed, So anyways, alveolar hypoventilation. Hypoventilation would lead to an increased PCO2 if you're not breathing a whole bunch, and this is a problem with diffusion impairment, not ventilation, because we know the inspired air is just doing okay. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and if it was, like and subscribe for more content. If you don't like and subscribe, the content gets worse over time, and soon it'll just be horrible. So better like and subscribe to keep that content quality improving.